Alright guys, I know a bunch of you have been waiting for this. I went ahead with all the other testing I've been doing lately. It was easy just to put this in there and get the cutting done. And as contrary as it seems, when I have a whole bunch of things to sharpen, one more isn't a big deal. Just like when I have a whole lot of cutting to do, cutting with one more isn't a big deal really. So, K390 Endura. Talked about this before, and before we get to the cutting, I'll just go ahead and show you guys. As you can see, that weird spot in the secondary bevel still has not gone away. It is thinner right through here. You can definitely see where it was hit up higher when it was sharpened. Still works just fine. Doesn't bother me. Just figured I'd note that now being on the 6th edge, that has not changed at all. So we'll go ahead and get the cutting out of the way and come back, compare this to some other K390, talk about how it did, how it sharpens, things like that. Now that we got that cutting out of the way, go ahead and get to the good stuff. How does this sharpen? This K390 comes up absolutely amazing. Comes up really fine, nice and sticky. I have sharpened it on diamond plates and the Venev stones. Love the edge it gets off of both of them. It has that nice stone skate to it. The burr does not get too big, and this deburrs super easy. Have no problems with it whatsoever. Before we get started with this one, yes, I changed the scales on this to try something much brighter. The K390 Para 3 of mine, and I'll go ahead and reference the K390 PM2 that I tested. Those did in the 330 to 340 foot total amount of cutting range. Two examples. We know these all were in the 63 to 64 range. A lot of them falling that I saw in the lower to mid 63 for hardness. So that gives us a good idea of what those do at a lower hardness. So this one, for the first test that I ran on edge number 4, I sharpened this on the Venev 25% stones. And for those of you that know or have them, the grit rating conversion for those 25% concentration stones is quite a bit higher than what the number is printed on the side. The 240 grit 25% leaves a finish that I can see much closer to a 600 grit diamond plate, and the 400 to me looks more like a maybe 1,000 grit diamond plate or so. But I did this freehand on the 240, then the 400, stropped it like normal and tested it. And on that test, 230 feet fine edge, 298 feet working edge, for a total of 528 feet. Super excited about that. I'd used enough edges prior to that, even though it was early on in sharpening, to know that this did really well. It drops back really well, and I got quite an extended period of time out of use on this edge compared to a lot of other steels. So then I went to the KME for the next two tests to go ahead and compare that. Same thing, 15 degrees per side. Only went up to 600 grit. And on the first KME edge, 226 feet fine edge, 296 feet working edge, for a total of 522 feet. Went ahead and did it one more time to get my same test verification like always. And on the verification test, 236 feet fine edge, 299 feet working edge, for a total of 535 feet. I'm super happy with how this ended up. I love how it is in use. Heard nothing but good things from other people, from the, I guess, the blue FRN K390 runs. I do have a Ladybug in K390 that if there is an inch of blade, maybe I'll test that and see how it does. I don't know though, because it's kind of small and I can barely get 2 fingers on it. Compared to the golden K390, you're looking at about a 200-foot increase worth of cutting in a 1-inch section, which is huge. I've seen a whole bunch of these tested. I have not tested my own yet. I do need to make some time to get that done to see what it actually is. Most of the ones I've seen tested are very high 65 to low 62. Haven't really seen any below that high 65 range, which I'm happy to see. I'm really glad that these are regular production. I'm definitely going to pick up the police because I plan to use this one a ton, and who knows how long they're going to make these as production. I'll probably buy a second Endura to put away. Absolutely love this as a work knife. And I will get around to finishing the testing on this K390 from Alex. Been super happy with how this performs, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. We'll save that for a different video, and then I can go ahead and compare the Endura and the golden K390 to see what the difference is. I do know the hardness on this was kind of unavoidable. Alex talked a lot about it before the testing. And yes, I will definitely get a hardness on this and let you guys know. If I had to take a guess, it's in that high 65 to low 66 range. I know what Kurt's Police was. It was 65 and a half, 65.4. I was surprised that that did. Now I'm surprised that that only did like 420, 430 feet total. If you guys have one, love to hear your experience with it. I know I talked to a bunch of people that have these. Everybody's super happy with them, be it the Delica, the Andela, the Endura here, or the Police. That's all I have for this one. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.